Well, here's the so-called evil George Soros that's ready to take over the world on the beach with his girlfriend. Lucky her, lucky her. You know, she's got a prize. Anyway, hope it's worth it, honey. Now, as far as some of the maneuvers that have been George Soros has been doing lately, I know he's buying gold and all this type of stuff. Smart guy, smart guy. He's buying gold. He increased his gold holdings from 3 times from the end of the first quarter 2012 to the end of the second quarter 2012. And he's using GLD, the Spider Fund. You know, the fund that supposedly doesn't really have as much gold in there as they supposedly should have, but I got doubts about all those rumors, you know. But, hey, every fund out there that's got piles of gold is audited. That might be bullshit, I don't know, but who the hell knows what is bullshit, right? Now, Mark Faber, he's pretty smart. He gets physical gold and he puts it in safes in various countries. I think that's a smarter maneuver. But George Soros also has another slick maneuver, and that is called he's buying up firearms industries and ammunition manufacturers, and through a stealth company supposedly. Now, this is off of Godlike Productions. It's just something somebody posted, you know, anonymously. You're not going to know who the hell it is. It may be correct, it may not be, but I got to say this, it makes sense. You know, it passes my BS detector pretty good. It goes on to state, like I said, this is all unconfirmed rumor stuff, but it may be good. It may be good. Wall Street banks have secretly taken over U.S. firearms and ammunition manufacturers and the world's largest mercenary firms in a stealth buildup of private military force. This kind of makes sense from my angle of reading a lot of Roman history. You know, there's been people that in the past have bought armies. Wealthy citizens in Rome have bought armies for political ambitions or to protect themselves. But I should also point this out. There's a code of honor in every single military. In other words, it's not all about money. Yeah, you can have a mercenary army, but it's not all about money. You know, this is where these guys kind of screw up that buy armies. Because there's been a number of instances when the Roman emperor, who maybe bribed the Praetorian Guard, was later murdered by them because they had no respect for the guy. No respect. I mean, they see him as a conniving weasel, so they killed him. You know? So, you know, don't read too much or get too crazy about this, but I would recommend this. You know, say for instance you got 50 ounces of silver, right? I mean, I don't know. There's all kinds of various amounts. Some people got thousands of ounces. Some people got 50 or 100 ounces. I would tell you, if you don't have a gun, go buy a gun before you go buy gold or silver. Go buy a gun. I mean, it doesn't mean, you know, you're going to kill somebody because you got kitchen knives. You also have garden tools that can kill people. And you also got other things like a car that you drive that can kill somebody with, too. So it doesn't mean you're going to go crazy. Just don't watch too many crazy movies that encourage violent behavior. I mean, I'd have to recommend that more about a gun. But when you buy, that would be a very smart investment because I would think the price of firearms is probably going to go up. If these guys are investing in these places, you're going to see the stocks go up. The fear index is up there. People buy guns. And actually, if you looked at Ruger Firearms, it's been a very good performing stock from like beginning of 2011 to now. It's been very good for the last couple of years. That's been a super stock. I wish you bought it versus silver and then bought silver now. But anyway, this goes on to state that the article reveals that Wall Street banks have used private equity firms to acquire and launch a massive stealth takeover of private security firms, U.S. ammo and gun manufacturers, uniform silencers, and an army of mercenaries to build up what amounts to be the world's largest private army. Kind of reminds you of Rome, you know, the stuff they were playing games with there. So at the same time, the private mercenary companies they now control, which includes the likes of Dynacorp and notorious names like Blackwater, have been authorized under the Department of Defense Directive blah 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 to actually conduct policing operations inside the United States. Now, I got to say something about this stuff, too, before people freak out about every stupid thing in the world. First off, I can tell you right now, most people in the military are not that well trained, believe it or not. There's one reason the American military kicks so much ass in the past is because the Americans have a lot more familiarity with weapons, and they go sport shooting or they go hunting and all this kind of garbage. So because the military doesn't really have the time to spend to train people to do that much with these weapons. Then they got logistics problems and all this other garbage. So like a lot of times, in other words, the average American was like totally pre-trained before he actually got in the military. I mean, I can give an example. My cousin was just in Iraq. He was a high-end sniper doing political assassinations over there, and he didn't learn that from the Marine Corps. I mean, they taught him stuff there, but he knew how to shoot an animal in the head from like so many yards away, like no problem. That's on the run. So, I mean, he goes in the military. He already knew what the hell he was doing. Now, that's what I got to say about private armies, because they don't have that much time to train. So, they might concentrate their forces on like one group of people or something, but as long as everybody has a gun, they're not going to do anything crazy to the average population. So that's the reason you got this Second Amendment. So buying a gun is actually a good thing. Just don't watch any crazy movies that have all this violent, hyped up bullshit, because you got a gun, you got kitchen knives, you got garden tools, you got a car you can run somebody over with. Depends if you want to do it or not. You're gonna do it. I mean, you'll run somebody over with a car, right? So I mean, it ain't the gun, but the gun is an equalizer with all this BS out here. So I got to point that out, because some of these people are kind of freaking out about this shit a little bit too much. And it could be, it actually mentions something in here about another umbrella company, which they have used umbrella companies such as Freedom Corp to engage in stealth takeovers in weapon stockpiling, which has consumes. Now, Freedom Corp has been linked supposedly to George Soros. Now, the guy is probably, I don't know what his intentions are exactly, but they could very easily just be financial. Because, when you're looking at George Soros, this is the kind of guy that does not command the respect of the military. If he wanted to, like, say, I buy this military and I tell you they will run roughshod over the population of the United States because I own you, they would probably kill this guy. I mean, he really probably would. I mean, because like I said, there's a code of honor in the military. So what I think George Soros, if he's actually involved in this freedom operation, whatever the hell he calls this damn thing, it's probably strictly over money. And it's probably a good bet to invest in firearms companies anyway, because that's one stock that seems to have been doing pretty good for a reason. There's all this fear out there of what can happen and this and that. So the stuff is selling, so the companies are doing good and their stock prices are going up. But some of these rumors are overblown, and I also got to point out, like I said before, a lot of the military doesn't train that much as people think. I mean, when you watch something on like CNN and they're going in with a SWAT team, yeah, a SWAT team might train, but the average soldier doesn't train that much. There's a lot of bureaucratic crap that goes on that they're not super well trained. So, I mean, any average American that's bright, alert, fit, and knows something about firearms can easily defend themselves against a tyrannical takeover without too much problem, to tell you the truth. Because it's always in numbers. It's like, you don't want, like, in other words, the minority doesn't kill off the majority. That's why you have a Second Amendment. So I want to post this. It's kind of controversial, but the hell with it. I'm going to post it anyway because it's got a couple angles on it. Money really can't buy the military long term. They can't. They never have historically. And number two, that Second Amendment is actually super important. It's not about hunting ducks and crap like that Bill Clinton used to say. It's very important because it causes, anybody that wants to take over in a really rotten fashion to have like second and third and fourth and fifth thoughts about doing so, because the population, when pushed back to their backs to the wall, will fight back. They will. They will. So if you got a situation where, you're going to die one way or the other, the population, the lemmings actually wake up and they get a hell of a lot of teeth. But this takeover of all these manufacturing places, Ruger, not Ruger, but, Marlin and Bushmaster and these other places, is maybe more of a financial angle than something that is, could be conspiracy to take over the firearms industry. Because, like I stated, any independent company can come up and make firearms. As a matter of fact, any machinist can make a firearm very easily. Very easily. It's not difficult to do. And the reason I state that is because, like, for instance, if you had an antique motorcycle that didn't have parts available, you can just tell the person, I need these bearings made, I need these pistons made, I need this made, I need connecting rod. Machinists can make more complicated parts than guns. As a matter of fact, in Afghanistan, they make knockoff copies of every damn thing there is out there, and they work. They work fine. They're not maybe to the exact precision as the original manufacturer, but they work fine. So, I think the actual angle, like they're buying up all these companies, is financial. And like I said, if George Soros is going to take over the world, I don't think he gives a shit. I think he just wants to go on a beach with his honey over here, and the hell would it make money. He's not going to actually command the respect of the military in a real fashion, so I don't think he even has any intentions of that garbage. So, the conspiracy freaks are like 25% right, I'd say. I'll give them that much. But, Americans should own guns because it's a vital right for a reason. Keeps the really bad guys from doing bad things to large numbers of people, like we've seen happen in Russia, and we've seen happen in China, and we've seen happen in Cambodia, and we've seen happen in Vietnam, right? I mean, things like happen to there's been genocides of populations, and let's not forget, number one, what happened to Jews in Germany? Now, if they were armed with, little machine guns or something, and the Nazis went to pick them up, bam, 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 there'd been no problem. Nobody would have picked them up for nothing, right? So let's keep everything in perspective. The reality is that guns actually save lives, because genocide is really where most of the lives get lost from gun control. So I don't think George Soros is actually into this gun control or military takeover garbage. I think it's all financial. So let's keep the rumors at where they belong. They're partly true, but not as true as the conspiracy freaks say.